The next day before math class, I asked Kristen to go to the library with me after school. She agrees, but I can tell by the way she sighs that she's not as into the idea as I am. We meet at our locker at the end of the day and head over. It's a good distance, but we get to talk a lot on the way. When we finally get there and I walk in through the front entrance, she says, seriously, I'm really going to hang out in the library after spending all day in school. We didn't have to come with. I say, hoping it won't make her want to leave. I know, it's just weird to come here without having to research something. This place totally makes me mad. Would it help to know we're coming here to get music? Depends on the music. I don't say anything else. Something tells me jazz would not get her approval. I find the computer with the card catalog and search for Buddy Rich. When my search returns a bunch of books on him, I find advanced search options and tell the system I only want audio recordings. That gives me what I want, a whole list of albums. It turns out the guy recorded a ton of stuff. Most of them are at other libraries in the area and need to be special ordered. But I find 3 that are in our library. I write down the location on a scrap of paper and run out to find them. So what's the deal with this guy anyway, Kristen asks. Buddy Rich, I say? He's a jazz drummer. No, I mean Pete Taylor. How did you get him to give you lessons? I try to tell her a short version of what happened the day I knocked on his door, and a little bit about our lessons. She winces at certain parts, as if my stories about Pete are like getting punched in the stomach. He sounds mean, she says. I don't know how to respond. I can't argue with her. He isn't the nicest guy in the world, but I don't think he's mean. He expects a lot, a whole lot. Maybe that's exactly what will ensure that I never hear anybody tell me I'm the worst drummer in the band ever again. Are you sure this is what you want to do, Christian asks. I'm not. I've never been more sure of anything. What about your parents? If they find out what you're doing, they're going to lose their minds. I've been in trouble plenty of times. I can handle it. This isn't like bringing home a bad report card exam. You're stealing your parents' lawnmower to take secret drum lessons, all while deleting voicemails from your principal. Do you have any idea how insane that is? I know. I just want to learn enough to practice on my own. After that, they can ground me forever if they want. Not forever. You're still coming to my pool party. Christian frowns and put a hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry they cut music next year. I put my hand over hers and squeeze. We leave the library with 4 CDs, 2 Buddy Rich albums, something by Miles Davis, and some CD that looks like it's covered in sparkles. Kristen says a new friend of hers says it's pretty cool. It's still a while before Kristen has to go home for dinner, so we head to my house to find Bryant building a fort out of couch pillows. He sees the 2 of us and says, help, the house is being invaded by baboons. Talk about that again and I'll kick you across the room, Kristen snaps. My brother's face turns white as he retreats into his assemblage of pillows. We race upstairs and drag out an old CD player I inherited from my cousin. We plug it in, pop open the CD deck, and put in one of the Buddy Rich albums. Christian lies on my bed and I lie on my stomach, my face inches from the CD player's digital display. I pull my baseball cap off and lay it on the floor next to the player. The music starts off quickly, quiet but intense. There's a lot of piano and a faint light percussion. It sounds like a drum roll on a wide cymbal until I realize he's playing that fast with only one hand. Then the snare and toms kick in, and he plays something that sounds like musical chaos. This is such a cool drum fill, I say. What's a drum fill, Christian asks. It's hard to explain with the headphone jack, but I try anyway. You know how there's the main beat that repeats over and over, and every once in a while the drummer plays something quick and fancy on top of it? That's a drum fill. And a guitar solo? Not that long. Drummers don't play full solos very often. But they're amazing when they do. I considered telling her about John Bonham's solo in Moby Dick, but chicken out when I remember that awkward conversations with my dad about how Bonham died. So it's like putting glitter on top of the beat, more like frosting, but yeah. It's nice talking to her about drums. She doesn't give me any weird looks. For a moment, I actually feel like an expert. I listen to more than music. The drums are constant and intense, and totally in your face. Laid back at Kirsten, who's twiddling a lock of her hair between her fingers, bored as I've ever seen her. There are solos by other instruments, a saxophone, a trumpet, and an upright bass, from what I can tell. None of them are impressive. It's not until later in the song that Buddy Rich takes his drum solo, the longest solo of all. And everything in the song stops to wait for him. Until Only they're not waiting for him. They're left behind in the dust, thrown from the vehicle, and tossed and spun across the pavement, lassoed and destroyed like a cowboy's victim. The drum solo ends and the band plays one more verse and finishes on one huge note that sounds like 1,000 people playing all at once. If I looked at myself in the mirror right now, I imagine my hair would be a mess, my face would be flushed red, and my eyes would be popping out of my head. I don't know if I like the melody just yet, but I am absolutely blown away by the drums. I have a long way to go, and much longer than I thought, but my long road is not impossible. I can become that good if I want it, and I'm willing to work hard enough. Buddy Rich was once a kid who couldn't play a double stroke to save his life. That's what Pete said. That's that I have to surpass him or I fail. The only way to start learning is to see those who have done it and realize it's possible. I spy a person staring at me, giving me this intense look, like my face just lit on fire. She says, "Man, you're really into this stuff, aren't you?" I'm too nervous to tell the truth, so I say, "I don't know. It's okay, it's not my thing, but I'm not going to make fun of you or anything." I know it's not that. I push my hair behind my ears. It's like the inside of my head was recorded and played back for me. Maybe that sounds weird, but it's the only way to explain how it makes me feel. That's cool, Christian swallows hard and turns away from me. If I knew how much you like drums, I might have backed you up a little more. She and I both know what she means. Her silence whenever anyone made fun of me, backing out of the conversation when I was getting picked on, failing to do all those things friends are supposed to do. And then there's me, realizing how hard it can be to do the right thing, especially if nobody's there to knock you off your pedestal. It's okay, I say, you're still my friend. I spend the rest of the school week fidgeting through class and listening to jazz CDs on a repeat at night. When Friday arrives, Miss Renali opens rehearsal with an announcement. "It is time to go celebrate in Panic," she says with a smile, "because our spring performance is exactly 1 week away, 1 week from today." A few kids gasp, while others roll their eyes, pretending not to care. Others are just excited we're closing in on the end of the year. Those of us excited about the performance stay very quiet. We spend the entire period playing our songs, trying to get through the whole list without stopping, and failing the majority of the time. We get to the song where Scott and I play snare. He watches me intently, more so than before. When the song is finished, he says, "How are you playing your triplets?" I look at my fingers, wrapped around the sticks. It takes me a moment to figure out what he means. "You and my triple stroke roll? Yeah, whatever you call it. It's not a big deal instead of alternating snare hits. I'm playing 3 rights followed by 3 lefts. It's a good way to practice stick control." Scott sits down and gives it a try, tapping on a triple stroke roll on his knees. It doesn't sound bad for his first time. "You're getting pretty serious about this," he says. "I am," I say, and I think I've always been serious about this, Scott. You just never noticed. Saturday arrives with a vengeance. I'm certain the second round of lawn mowing will be easier than the first. I am very wrong. The day begins with me forgetting to visit Pete's neighbor first. I travel all the way to another customer on the other side of town, only to remember that I don't have enough gas. I head back towards Pete's neighbor's house to find her waiting on her front porch, a portable fuel container next to her. "Late start today?" she asked. I gave a little growl, and she laughed as she helps me pour gas into the lawnmower. "You're helping me out, and I'm helping you out," I say. "But I still don't even know your name." "It's Wanda," she says. Then again, geezers like me forget things. Maybe my name is really George. When I give her a look, she says, "Loosen up, honey, it was a joke." It doesn't matter that I'm more prepared for the physical exhaustion when I start mowing Wanda's lawn, because I'm still dreading how long the entire day will last. Last week, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Now I know precisely how bad it will be, and I hate every moment leading up to it. I hate how long I'm out there, sweating under the orb of death, but this time I know the orb of death is no match for me. I've done this once before, and I'll do it again, no matter how many longs it takes. The old lady who brought me lemonade last week was water this time around. I guess if I'm going to gulp something down, it might as well be water. When I finish the last one, I'm pretty convinced I'll never do it again. There's no way I can handle this every week. Then I remember Scott asking about my triple stroke roll, and feeling like a real drummer for the first time in my life. 1 horrible day per week is worth drum lessons, even if I have to mow a million lawns to pay for them.